Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my Notre Dame football predictions. Before I continue, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and please subscribe to the channel. You won't regret it. So basically, I've already done some teams. Go check that out on the channel, the McD Sports 4 YouTube channel. Today we're doing Notre Dame, so let's get into it. I'm going to start off with the pros and cons, then the best case and worst case scenario, then your toughest and easiest games for Notre Dame, and then I'm going to go through the schedule, tell you my picks as of right now for win loss and a score. So basically, let's get into it. The pros for Notre Dame. Two pros and two cons that came up. The first pro, we'll start off with the good stuff first. Ian Book. In my opinion, he's a pretty damn good quarterback. In my opinion, I do think that is a pro for Notre Dame, Ian Book. Now, the second pro, the defense. The defense for Notre Dame is pretty good. In my opinion, I do think that the defense was the reason why Notre Dame went undefeated last year, actually, because they got carried by the defense basically carried the team against teams at like Pitt, Vandy, Ball State. So yeah, basically the defense is the reason why Notre Dame went 12-0 last year, so that's a pro. The two cons, your first con, Brian Kelly. I just don't like Brian Kelly. I'm not a huge fan of him. I don't think he's a good head coach. I mean, he had some seasons he went 4-8. That's unacceptable at Notre Dame. All in all, he is like a 9-3, 10-2 coach, but I don't know. There's just something about him. I just don't like his coaching philosophy or him as a person in general. And then the second con, you're not in the conference. Get in the damn conference, Notre Dame. I'm fine with you being in the ACC. I think that will work out best for you. Maybe the Big Ten as well. But even though Notre Dame, they always run to the easier conference because that's how they are. So Notre Dame, please join a conference. I think you are definitely a Power 5 team, but please join a conference. So now let's look at the schedule. Let's go with the best case and worst case scenario. The best case and worst case scenario. Your best case scenario is 11-1. If you look at the schedule, they are on the road against Georgia and Michigan. You're losing at least one of those. And then your worst case scenario is 7-5. Remember, last year Notre Dame was a team that had trouble against teams like Ball State, so they could struggle against some of these teams and lose the games. Actually, this schedule was much tougher than it was last year for Notre Dame. So basically, that's where I'm at. Let's go through your toughest games, your three toughest and three easiest games. Your three toughest games, obviously, at Georgia and at Michigan, as I just said. Your third toughest game, it came down to two games, Virginia and then at Stanford. I went with at Stanford because it's on the road, and you kind of have to travel across the country to get there from South Bend to San Francisco Bay Area. So that's why I went with at Stanford. That's your third toughest game. Your three easiest games are Bowling Green, New Mexico, and Louisville. At Louisville, three teams that struggled last year a lot, and I think they're going to struggle some this year as well. So now looking at the schedule, we'll go game by game. I'll tell you who I have winning and losing, and give you a score. I do think the schedule in college football really helps you with your picks, so that's why I do this. So your first game at Louisville is a Monday night game, since week one of the college football season does not concur with the NFL season. So they throw a game on Monday night. It's the Notre Dame at Louisville game. Louisville, a team, they were really bad last year. They're expected to be terrible again this year. I think you guys go into Louisville. You go across the state of Indiana into Louisville, into Kentucky, win the game. I have a 42-14 Notre Dame in this one. I just think Notre Dame overall is a better team than Louisville. Then you get your first bye at every team gets two byes because of how the schedule lies and how the dates lie on the calendar year. So no like advantage to it. But after Louisville, you gotta have that bye. You just gotta have that bye. But anyways, you get your bye in week 2. Then in week 3, You get to play New Mexico at home. One other thing, real quick, I want to just make a quick comment. All the home games for Notre Dame are on NBC, and some of these games don't deserve to be on national primetime television like this one. But New Mexico at home, I think you guys get the easy win, 49-7. New Mexico not talented at all. Their head coach should be on the hot seat for New Mexico, Bob Davie, but he probably won't get fired, but in my opinion, he should be on the hot seat. And New Mexico, they're just not a good team overall. One of the bottom feeders in the Mountain West. So give me Notre Dame to win that game, 49-7. Your next game at Georgia. We already did our Georgia football predictions. Go check that out on the YouTube channel, the McD Sports 4 YouTube channel, and drop a like on that button. And so drop a like on that video. So I'll appreciate that. But anyways, at Georgia, I kind of already talked about this game, but I'll basically repeat myself. This is going to be a very important game in a lot of people's minds because basically these are two top five teams playing each other from last year's playoff rankings. Um, Notre Dame, it's last time they played Georgia, it was in South Bend, and Georgia went up there and won, I think, 20-19. This time it's in Athens, Georgia. The game's going to be on CBS. It's a night game on CBS. Most likely, the way the CBS has laid out their schedule, which means it's going to be national televised and everything. I think this is going to be a very competitive game in the first half. But I think Georgia pulls away in the second half, especially at home in front of 92,000 at Stanford Field. And I think Georgia gets the win 30-14. And I think basically Georgia is just a better team overall than Notre Dame. So I think Georgia wins 30-14 as Notre Dame drops their first game of the season for the first loss of the season. Then next, they get Virginia at home. This is not going to be a give me for Notre Dame. Virginia's a damn good football team. They're going to be an 8, 9, possibly even 10-win team this year, in my opinion. And Virginia could very well go into South Bend and beat y'all. Bryce Perkins, very good quarterback there at Virginia. They also have a pretty good coach in Bronco Mendenhall as well. But at the end of the day, I do think Notre Dame overall has the better depth than Virginia, and I do think that will be the difference in this one. I have you all winning this one 24-17, but don't sleep on Virginia if you're a Notre Dame fan. Do not sleep on Virginia. Next game, Bowling Green at home. This is the other game that I don't understand why it's on national televised TV. It's going to be on NBC. I think it's a joke that these games are on NBC. Like Notre Dame against a bunch of MAC opponents. Bowling Green, not a good team at all. My Terps, we went up to Bowling Green. We went on the road against them and blew them out. I expect the same here from Notre Dame. Notre Dame will win this game, in my opinion, 45-3. I almost gave the shutout, but I decided to give Bowling Green a field goal. Notre Dame's just better than Bowling Green. Nothing that you guys don't know. Next game, USC at home. USC is going to be a team that might have a losing record going into this one, or they might have a winning record. They kind of have a tough slate at the beginning of the season. Clay Helton, he's on the hottest seat in my opinion, and this might be the swan song for Clay Helton this game if they're really struggling. Personally, I think USC goes into Notre Dame. They keep it close for like a half, but Notre Dame I think will pull away in the second half. I have Notre Dame winning this game 27-10. I'm not really sold on USC at all this year, and I think this could be the swan song for Clay Helton. And then Notre Dame, they get their second bye. And then they coming off the bye. This is a good place to have a bye, by the way, because then you get to go on the road at Michigan. Michigan, a team that you all beat last year in South Bend. It was the first game under the Shea Shea Patterson at quarterback. Now he has a year under his belt, actually a year and a half. The way this game lies on the schedule, it's in the big house. You're on the road, very tough place to play. I'm going with Michigan. I think Michigan. I think this is a very even matchup right here, but I'm going to give the edge to the home team and the home field advantage, and that's why I'm picking Michigan in this one. I think Michigan will beat you all 20-17. So give me Michigan to win 20-17 as Notre Dame drops their second game of the year, as that's their second loss of the year. Then your next game, Virginia Tech at home. Virginia Tech, I don't think is going to be that good of a football team. I threw their coach on the hot seat. I forget his name, but I threw their coach on the hot seat. Virginia Tech, a team that they're losing a lot of talent to the transfer portal overall. I still expect the defense to be decent though for Virginia Tech, so I think they'll keep it close in the first half. But at the end of the day, give me Notre Dame to win this one in South Bend, 31-14. I think Notre Dame pulls away again in the second half. Next game at Duke. Duke is a team that they're kind of rebuilding. They let their quarterback Daniel Jones got drafted by the Giants. That was a terrible draft pick. They also, I think, lost some talent on the defense as well. I still expect Duke to have a decent defense though. But Notre Dame, the depth and the talent's just better than Duke, and they're going to go into Durham and to Duke and beat them. I have it 27-9. Notre Dame. Notre Dame's defense, I think, will carry them in this game. Next game, Navy at home. Navy, a team that struggled last year, didn't make a bowl game. I think they will bounce back this year some. Navy, they won that option, the triple option. So it's to me the triple option. If you have good defensive ends, you can stop it very easily. Notre Dame has okay defensive ends, so Navy might have some success with the triple option. It won't be enough, though. I expect Notre Dame to win this game. It's in South Bend. I expect Notre Dame to win this game 33-13 over Navy. Notre Dame's just a better team, in my opinion. Navy is considered a group of five team. So you got that going for you as well. Boston College at home. This is going to be a low scoring matchup in my opinion. Boston College, a pretty good defensive team, but not really much going for them on offense. They will be in this game probably going into the fourth quarter though. I do expect Notre Dame to beat them though in South Bend. I have it 20-10 Notre Dame. I just have a strong feeling that Notre Dame against some of these middle of the road teams are just going to start pulling away in the third and fourth quarter. And I think that's going to be the solution here again. So give me Notre Dame to win here 20-10. Boston College, not much offense going for them. The defense, I think, will be good, though, and keep them in this ball game for three quarters. And then your last game at Stanford. This is a tricky one for Notre Dame because Notre Dame might not be favored in this one actually. Stanford, they're going to be a decent team this year, probably at least 7 or 8 wins. You look at Stanford. The offense is mediocre, but the defense is really good. They have a great coach there at Stanford. I just really think that that Notre Dame could struggle some in this game. But I have a gut feeling Notre Dame's going to pull it out. I'm picking Notre Dame to win this one. I have a 16-14 Notre Dame in this one. I think Stanford's in it until the end, but Notre Dame just a bit more talent. I think it's the difference, and Notre Dame will win this one 16-14. So I just went through game by game, gave you a score, which resulted in a 10-2 record. No conference record since Notre Dame's not in the conference getting the damn conference, Notre Dame. But overall, 10-2. Not a bad season with this schedule. I mean, you do have like 3 games I think you could really easily lose. And in Georgia, Michigan, and Stanford, and I wouldn't sleep on the Virginia as well. So I mean, Notre Dame is definitely going to be losing a game this year. I hate to break it to you, but 10-2 for Notre Dame. Comment down below. Tell me if you agree or disagree with me. I always like hearing from you all. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, and also please subscribe to the channel. That would be greatly appreciated if you do that. thanks for watching. The Washington Huskies are tomorrow, so stay tuned for that, and go on my channel as well to check out the other videos we did. We did Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, and Ohio State so far. So we did 5 teams. I started this on June 1st. It's June 6th now. Happy D-Day to everybody. But basically, Notre Dame today, Washington tomorrow, and then I think it's Texas on Saturday, and then it's Florida on Sunday. So that's the schedule we're going with. And then I think it's going to be Michigan the next day on Monday. But anyways, I'm getting too ahead of myself. Thanks for watching the video again, and this is McD the Beast signing off.